All I'm thinking is, you don't get to tell me how to raise my kid, particularly when, I promise you, it is a better pathway to screwing up your kid as a general statistical matter by telling them that they can dress as a member of the opposite sex when they are 6 years old, than telling them, you know what, why don't you not do that today and instead put on a pair of pants.
Kids are going to go out there thinking it's okay to do that, and they go out there and just get absolutely bullied by their classmates, get bullied by society, and that's just because masculine feminine is how we live our life.
Of course they can make that decision when they become an adult, but when you're a kid, it's a little different. The parents are supposed to guide the kid. Why else have parents? But I guess that's a radical take now. I just thought it was a normal take.
That child knows that he's a boy, and he goes to school. I'm not trying to be emotional.
No, it's fine.
And like, he understands that, and his parents are just like, yeah, just remember, you're a boy. I understand the whole bullying thing you were talking about, but wouldn't it confuse the child more if you say, hey, you can't do these things because these are specifically girl things, even though this child who's a boy and realizes he's a boy?
No, if I'll answer the question, then you can tell me whether I'm getting to your question. Okay. So my feeling is that as a parent, and a parent of young kids, that it is my job to educate my kids about life. It is not my job to let my children make autonomous decisions about which they know nothing, because kids are really stupid. And I say this as the father of two. I mean, when I say that my 4.5-year-old...
I don't think children are stupid. I think children are just so new to the world that they are just a little ignorant. I wouldn't say stupid, though, because stupid implies a low level of IQ. I just think they just don't know a lot of stuff. They're looking for adults or older people to teach them, you know?
Is smart, I mean for a 4.5-year-old. I don't mean like overall. Because she just doesn't know enough about how the world works. And not only that, the reality is that cultures across time and space have differentiated between the dress of males and females. Now, there are folks who say, well, male dress in American society may look like female dress in some other societies. That's fine, but that's not how it is in the United States, meaning that we all sort of accept that there is a binary dress code, at least to a certain extent, in terms of how boys and girls dress. And if you want to confuse your child, then the best thing to do is take a 6-year-old kid and say to them, yeah, go ahead and wear a dress to school. And I don't feel like I'm discriminating against my 2.5-year-old son when I offer him another option or when I encourage him to take that other option. So for example, my 2.5-year-old son, he's got an older sister, and his older sister wears all sorts of frilly things, and they're very shiny and they're very sparkly. And so he's very fond of going into her closet and taking out her shoes and putting them on. Okay, and after him doing this for a little while, I said to him, no, you're not allowed to wear those shoes. Those are your sister's shoes. Those are girl things. This is not evil. This is not terrible. This is called being a parent. And when finally, after he did it a little bit, I said to him, why don't we, you know what? I'm going to take you out. We're going to get you new shoes. We went to the Cowboy Western store, and we got him boots. He will not take off his boots. The moral of the story is that kids like cool stuff, regardless of whether it is stereotyped male or female, and that it is not a terrible thing to reinforce certain cultural stereotypes that are going to make your kid happier, safer, and more comfortable. And
my thing is, I mean, as a parent, it's just your job to teach your kid the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. I feel like, I guess with my generation, we kind of try to push other people to sway between the lines and say, oh, but you're supposed to raise, I guess, a son and a daughter in the same ways. But my thing when it comes to that is that you're doing your children a disservice if you raise them to do the exact same things or be the exact same way, because if you have a son and a daughter, they just aren't the same. They don't think the same. They may come from the same household, but for example, I have a sister. I have 2 sisters. They don't act like me at all. And we are from the same household, but it would just be a disservice if my parents raised me the exact same way they raised her or them, because we aren't the same. And when you try to do a one-size-fits-all for your children, you're just confusing your children even more. Like, growing up is already kind of confusing. Like he said, children are stupid, or I said they're a little ignorant. So when you just do a one-size-fits-all for your children, they're going to be even more confused than they already naturally are. You're supposed to guide them in some capacity. At least in my opinion. Hey y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
About gender is not just let's say that you are the world's most open-minded parent. You say, listen, I don't want to be part of any of these dress stereotypes with regard to culture. Guess what? Your kid still lives in a world. Your kid still lives in a world full of other people who are trying to reinforce the fact that masculinity and femininity have different qualities, and those qualities and differences are beautiful. Okay? And so when we say to parents that you're doing something wrong, if you say to your 6-year-old that he can't wear a dress to school, all I'm thinking is, you don't get to tell me how to raise my kid, particularly when I promise you it is a better pathway to screwing up your kid as a general statistical matter by telling them that they can dress as a member of the opposite sex when they are 6 years old, than telling them, you know what, why don't you not do that today and instead put on a pair of pants.
So Ben does a good job of kind of breaking it down to these students who really are, seem to be confused because, number one, they've never really been a parent before, and so they think that somehow maybe they're getting not educated from their parents. But he does a great job of showing that, look, there is male and female, and we need to educate our kids on the difference to that, because these kids need to go out into the world and face reality. And if you are a parent and you are saying, oh, put on a dress and go out there, then those kids are going to go out there thinking it's okay to do that, and they go out there and just get absolutely bullied by their classmates, get bullied by society. And that's just because masculine feminine is how we live our lives.
Yeah, he's making a very good point. And my thing is, when people hear this and let's say they disagree with this, I think they would disagree with the premise of telling your children who they're supposed to be or whatever the crap. But my thing is, I think children are, of course, they eventually grow up to be adults, and when you're an adult or when you're a little older, you're allowed to make your own decisions fully. However, when you're raising a child, what I think, you're supposed to guide them in the way that you think would make life the best for them and just the most enjoyable for them and just good for them. So when you tell your kid to do something that you know can negatively impact them just for the sake of telling them, you're not really doing them any favors. Like, you're not doing anyone any favors when you say that. Of course, they can make that decision when they become an adult, but when you're a kid, it's a little different. The parents are supposed to guide the kid. Why else have parents? But I guess that's a radical take now. I just thought it was a normal take.
That doesn't mean that you could not educate your kids and then maybe your kid becomes 20, 25, an adult, and decides, hey, I want to become somebody else. I want to become a woman. That's fine. I mean, I think that as a parent, you should embrace that. At that point, that person can make a decision because they've lived through society, they've lived through life, they've gone through the schooling, they understand what's right and what's wrong, and then make a decision for them. I mean, you look at Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner was one of my all-time favorites growing up. I think he was the most masculine man. Now, he decided he was going to put on a dress and become a woman. I mean, at first I was like, I don't get it, I don't understand it, but he's a grown adult. He was later in his 60s decided to do it. I mean, he can do that because he's been through life. But as parents, we have to educate our kids. We have to tell them this is what's right and this is what's wrong. I like that Ben put on some boots for his son. You know, if his son came to him and said, I want to become a cowboy, Ben is not going to take him out to a dude ranch and drop him off and say, hey, become a cowboy. He's going to buy him some boots, maybe a cowboy hat, and then talk about cowboys and Indians like every other boy did growing up. And every other girl is going to Barbie things and female things. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think he does a good job of kind of...
Yeah, Ben Shapiro, he does a good job. He didn't have to call the kids stupid, but I don't think that was what he was saying, bro. He was just basically saying that guide your children. Like, that's what they're there for. We need to stop acting like kids come out the womb just theorists and analytical masterminds. No, they come out the wombs not knowing how to speak, not knowing how to put a pair of pants on, not knowing how to tie a pair of shoes. And they have to learn this stuff. They have to learn the way the world operates. Of course, they have natural human instincts, but the world is not that simple. It's a complex place. So, yeah, that's just what it is, bro. But, yeah, if you have any more suggestions for me, comment down below. It's LFR Jojo, and I'll see y'all next time.